Hi Year 7 and Year 8, I hope you are all having a really good week so far. Welcome to Lesson 3, where we are working on our writing skills. Let's make sure we've got everything ready to go for this lesson. So as always, you will need to have some lined paper or an exercise book to write in. You'll need to have a pen or pencil, a ruler, and you may like to have a coloured pen or pencil for self-marking and correcting your work. So make sure you've got all of the things you need ready before you continue. Okay, so we've got what we need ready to go, and now we're going to make sure that our page is set up. So you're going to write Mastery Writing 3 as our title and underline it. I'm going to write down today's date, and you're going to underline it. I seem to have forgotten that bit. And when you've done that, you can make sure you tick off the letters of third. Remember, they tell us to check that we've got our title and date underlined, as well as that H that stands for handwriting. So we're making sure that this is clear handwriting, and we're writing as neat as possible and making sure it's clear to read. Okay, so today's lesson includes 3 writing tasks. We're going to be underlining the subject in a sentence. We'll be putting the actions, the verbs in a sentence, into the past simple. And finally, we'll be correcting a paragraph that's missing some bits. We're going to improve it by adding in the capital letters and full stops. Okay, let's make a start. So the first thing we need to do then, guys, is to recap the subject. Remember, the subject of a sentence is who or what is doing the main action. Okay, so if we look at the first sentence, number 1, can you find that? Just point at it. So number 1 is here. So the policeman talked to his friend. So if I'm looking for the subject, I want to see what or who, is this sentence about? Well, we can see here, if I draw a bit of a wibbly line, if it will let me, here we go. The policeman is our subject because it's him who's doing the action. And I can identify the action there. Look, he talked. And who did he talk to? Well, his friend. So all I want you to do today for this activity is to write out the sentence. And then once you've done that, to identify the subject and underline it. Okay? You can pause the video here and complete that task first, and then we'll self-mark them together. Off you go. Okay, so if you are listening again now, I'm assuming you're ready to mark. Get that different coloured pen in hand and let's track through the right answers. This is your chance to tick if it's correct and fix up if it's not. Okay, so self-marking then, we've done the first one, haven't we? We should have underlined the policeman. Remember, it has to be that whole phrase, not just policeman. Okay, we need to include the determiner as well, the. Sentence 2, he spoke on his phone. Okay, so we should have had the pronoun he here was our subject. In fact, we can tick those 2 off because those are correct. Number 3, he put down his phone. The subject then is also he. Well done if you got that correct. Number 4, the policeman left his seat. Can we see that we've also got the policeman again as our subject? And finally, number 5, Sammy and Tasha spoke to the policeman. So who's the subject of this sentence? It's not the policeman this time. He's not the one carrying out the main action. In fact, it's 2 people. We have Sammy and Tasha, because it's both of them who carry out the action, and the action here is the verb spoke. Okay, tick off the ones you got right, correct them if you need to, give yourself a mark out of 5. Okay, so our next task then is to change these sentences. So there's a rule here. When you put actions into the past tense, into the past simple, you say what happened and not what was happening. So the words at the bottom of the screen here will help you. Let's read them first. We have closed, started, turned, motioned, wanted, happened. Can we see that all of these, without ed ending, are in the past simple? So we need to decide which sentences they should go in and which words they'll replace. Let's do number 1 together. Number 1, Miss Davis was motioning for the class to start writing. If I want to make this say what happened and not what was happening, I need to change 2 words. Here, was motioning. Which word would replace those 2 words from the bottom? Point at it on the screen, please. Good. You should have picked out here the word motioned. And in fact, when I rewrite this sentence, I'm going to cross out was motioning and I'm going to write above it neatly, motioned. Okay? Miss Davis motioned for the class to start writing. Excellent. So I would like you to pause the video, write out sentences 1 to 5, and make sure you correct them so that they are all in the past simple. Off you go. Okay, so it's time for us to self-mark again. So make sure you've got your different coloured pen ready. Now I know we've already done number 1 together. Remember that was not, we crossed out was motioning, didn't we? And we wrote instead motioned. Okay, so for the next one then, what we're going to do is try and find which words we need to replace. So let's start. We've got they, that's our subject, and then what were they doing? Were wanting to see the film tomorrow. Were wanting isn't right, is it? So that's the bit that we would cross out. And then when we put it in the past, we say they wanted. Okay, to see the film. So actually, I'm going to tick these if I've got them right. Remember, I'm going to fix them if I didn't get them right. Number 3, the frog was turning into a prince. See there, the subject, the frog, and the action was turning. That's not in the past simple, so I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to replace it with the word turned. And tick it if I've got it right. Number 4, celebrations were happening all over town. Can you see the action that I need to change? I'm going to cross out were happening and I'm going to write happened. Celebrations, I'm sure you'll write it a bit neater than me writing on screen here. Celebrations happened all over town. Tick it. Finally then, number 5. The lady and her son were closing the shop. So the subject here is a long one. It's the lady and her son. And what they were doing were closing. Well, we can change that to the past simple, cross it out. And what are we going to write here, guys? Closed. The lady and her son closed the shop. Well done. You can give yourself a mark out of 5. Now, I said to you that there's often some extension tasks, particularly for Year 8, and obviously for Year 7, you're welcome to have a go too. So I would like you to then write 2 sentences, but tell us more about the celebrations. So this is sentence 4 here. Celebrations happened all over town. Write me 2 more sentences and tell me what those celebrations were. Were there fireworks? Was there clapping in the street? Was there a party? It's up to you. You're going to write 2 clear sentences with a subject, and it needs to be in the past simple too. Alright, when you've done that, let's move on. So a quick question for you guys. This is not a writing task, so no pens needed. I want to know, deal or no deal, where you've got to tell me which box is correct. Which of these actions is in the past simple tense? Okay, is it in box number 1 here, she danced? Is it in box number 2, she was dancing? Or was it in box number 3, she dances? So you've got your 15 seconds to decide now which of these actions is in the past simple tense. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pick your box now. Okay, well done if you guessed box 1. Or in fact, we're not even guessing here, are we? You know the answer because we've been practicing this. She danced is the one that is in the past simple tense. Okay, well done. So our final writing task today is to correct up this passage. So listen to my instruction first. In this story, we've got the story of Faduma and her mum, and they are going shopping. You can see at the start of my story this part in bold writing. This is all correct. Okay, we don't need to change it. So I'm going to talk you through what's right about this bit, and then I'm going to ask you to rewrite, to write out the bit that starts here, okay, all the way then down to the end. So Faduma and her mum decided to go shopping, full stop. Look at that nice clear sentence. We get our subject, Faduma and her mum. We have the past simple tense telling us what they did. They decided and they went shopping. So that sentence is lovely, it's correct. We've got a full stop here before we introduce the next subject, and this time it's the pronoun they. This refers back to Faduma and her mum. They took the bus into town. Okay, so I've got my verb here in the past simple tense. They took the bus into town. Oh, Miss Reed spotted an error. It's not correct. I in fact need a full stop here. And I also need to correct the T because they is our next subject. They started walking around the shops, full stop. Now that sentence is correct. So I want you to go through this in the same way. You need to write all of the words out from this sentence here, where it starts, Faduma, and you are going to look for where does the one sentence end and the next one begin. I want you to correct all of the capital letters and full stops. And for the Year 8s, your extension task is to extend the story for 2 more sentences. Okay, it needs to be on the same topic, the same subject, and make sure that your capital letters and full stops are also correct. Pause the video and complete that task now, please. Okay, so you can see on screen now the bit of the paragraph that you have fixed up, and I'm going to talk through it with you, and we can then tick where we've got it right and fix it if we need to. So let's start here with our subject. Faduma saw a dress she loved. Okay, so we've got the action, what she was doing, and then the object, a dress. So Faduma saw a dress she loved, her mum thought, and then we're actually introducing someone new, so let's go. Faduma saw a dress she loved, so we need a full stop here. Well done if you got that. And we also need to change this to a capital H. We've got a new subject, this time her mum. And what her mum is doing, can you see? She thought. Her mum thought it looked very elegant on Faduma. Okay, so we need to look for the next sentence start. Her mum thought it looked very elegant on Faduma. She said, here it is, look, new subject. So let's get a full stop after Faduma and a capital S. She said she would buy it for her. She rummaged in her bag. That's definitely a run-on sentence. So let's check it. She, that's our subject, said, there's the action, she would buy it for her, full stop. Just here, before we introduce the pronoun again, she. Capital S, she rummaged in her bag. That one's correct. She couldn't find her purse. Before we introduce she again, look, we need to have a full stop. Capital S. She sighed. She had left it in the kitchen. Those two shouldn't be joined up, should they? We've got subject and the action. So we need a full stop. Whoop. Full stop afterwards. Capital S. She had left it in the kitchen. Full stop. Gosh, lots to correct there. Let's tick it. So I'm going to give you one tick for the full stop and capital letter here. Another tick for this one after Fatima and she. Another one after her and she, that's 3. Another one here, that's 4, 5, and finally 6. Mark out of 6, please, guys. Okay, well done. So you have worked through an awful lot today, okay, and practicing identifying the subject. I forgot what we've done. Identifying the subjects, fixing up the sentences into the past simple, and correcting full stops and capital letters. So we really would like to see your work. Please send a copy over to Miss Riley or a copy of your work over to me if you're in my class. You can upload it to show my homework, or you can send it via email. Okay? Good work today, guys. Really well done. And I'll see you tomorrow.